Hillary Clinton's spinmeisters are working overtime to deal with her ever-expanding email scandal. Muslims insist that raping girls and killing Jews are acts of devotion to their God. And Coulter says immigrant is the new N-word. My name is Howard Riell, and this is Real Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com, and on Facebook, and on YouTube, and on Tumblr, and in the book Real Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM, The Lion. Our call-in number is 877-254-7524. My friends, these shows go all too fast. Well, here we are at the end of another broadcast week. Let's do some good. Item from the conservativetribune.com. When it comes to foreign policy, it seems that neither Barack Obama nor Hillary Clinton have a clue what they're talking about. The former Secretary of State has been in the hot seat for her involvement in the Benghazi scandal for almost a year now, and one would think that situation coming to a head. Wisdom would guide her to think carefully before she speaks, as idiotic statements could damage her chances at the presidency in 2016. It seems that Clinton has ignored that common sense bit of wisdom by slamming the nation of Israel in her latest memoir, Hard Choices, where she calls the Jewish nation, quote, an occupying force in Palestine. Clinton recounts her time visiting the Middle East and being shocked at witnessing, quote, life under occupation for Palestinians, unquote. This seems to indicate that Clinton, a supposed raging liberal who lives, eats, and breathes racial equality, has a bit of bias against Israel. According to Free Beacon, the former First Lady writes, quote, when we left the city and visited Jericho in the West Bank, I got my first glimpse of life under occupation for Palestinians who were denied the dignity and self-determination that Americans take for granted. Stop. Folks, if there's one person who knows nothing about dignity, it's Hillary Clinton, who is an animal who would put a knife in anyone in order to advance her political ambition. But dignity and self-determination have nothing to do with the Palestinian Nazis. They could have had their own state long ago, except they don't want their own state. They simply want to be in a position continually and perpetually of complaining about not having their state, so people will send them millions of dollars and feel sorry for them and vilify Israel. Well, that's exactly what simpletons are doing the world over. I am not a simpleton, and if you're listening to my show, you probably aren't either. We know the Palestinians are terrorists. We know they're murderers. We know their great leader, Aj al-Husseini, the Mufti of Jerusalem back in the 1940s, was best buds with Adolf Hitler, spent a lot of the time in the 40s in Germany helping him to perpetrate the Holocaust. We know the Palestinians hide their weapons in hospitals and children's schools, and they teach their 3-year-olds to hate and to kill Jews. On and on and on. If Hillary Clinton feels sympathy with them, well, it only confirms absolutely everything I already think about Hillary Clinton, and I invite her, if she wants to be president, she may go to Gaza and the West Bank and be president there. Item from the Washington Examiner. A new analysis of legal and illegal immigrant counts by the Census Bureau revealed on Thursday that there is a record 42.1 million in the United States, an explosion that's being driven by Mexicans flooding across the border. Stop, that's wrong. The incredible flood of immigrants from Mexico and from elsewhere, but coming from Mexico, coming across the border, is not being driven by Mexicans. Mexicans don't drive anything except, I guess, poverty and drug cartels. It's being driven by American politicians. And it's being driven via American politicians by American corporations who want what amounts to slave labor, people who are willing to work for next to nothing. It's being driven by Democrats who want more and more voters who've got their hands out, because the Democrats are the party of handouts, as opposed to self-determination and American greatness. And so, yes, this flood of illegals is being driven not by Mexicans, because if we put up a wall to keep Mexicans out, they wouldn't come. And if they tried climbing over the wall and we shot them, they wouldn't come. So Mexicans haven't even got the get up and go to fix their own country. So they're not the ones driving the flood across the border. It's us. America, portions of America, the political class, the corporate class, they are our worst enemies. And the politician, and that guy Kasich from Ohio is in the news today, saying he has basically no problem with the people who are here illegally staying here. That's it for Kasich. He is out of the race. Not that he was ever really in the race, but he's out. The only one Americans want to vote for is someone who says we need rule of law, which means illegals need to go. That's what we need in the White House. That's exactly and precisely what we're not getting at present. Item from the Hill. Democrats are worried that the furor surrounding Hillary Clinton's private email server will be prolonged and intensified after her sudden move to hand it over to the FBI. The Clinton campaign's decision to give up the server and thumb drive containing backup copies of emails left Democrats scratching their heads as to why the former Secretary of State had resisted for months turning over the server. Coupled with new polls that suggest Clinton is vulnerable, Democrats are nearing full-on panic mode. Unquote. My friends, that is music to my ears. If Democrats are panicking, then good times are not far down the road for America. Obviously, if Hillary Clinton wants to be a loyal Democrat, she wants to serve her party, she should resign today from running for president. If the party really wants to serve America and realizes that Hillary Clinton is unelectable, it should dump Hillary Clinton immediately, today. And if the average American voter really wants America to come back, really wants to cut out all the torture that we've been handed by Barack Obama over his 2 presidencies, and really start America on the road back to economic strength, to national security, to international prestige, they should ban the Democratic Party from their lives, who have not only failed on every single promise they've made, but have turned major American cities and states, Louisiana, Detroit, Michigan, into cesspools because their policies just plain do not work, have never worked, cannot work, will never work. It's time to extinctify the Democrat Party. Not that the Republicans are all that much better, because they're also for big government, but at least you find the conservatives in the Republican Party, and conservatives are grown-ups. And man, do we need grown-ups running things. It's Thursday, and it's Real Truth. This grown-up will be right back. We're on the way back. Here we go. All right, folks, welcome back to Real Truth. When you're talking about great minds in political conservative talk radio, you're talking, yes, Howard Riell, but also Rush Limbaugh and Mark Levin. Now, Mark Levin was on Hannity's show recently on Fox News. He says Obama has planted the seed for World War III through this insane Iran nuclear deal. Here's Mark Levin. Let's listen. And speaking of that book, my friends, Mark Levin's new book came out about a week or so ago. I'm reading it. It's excellent. Get it, read it, enjoy it, learn from it. Item from the Blaze. A representative for a pro-Islamic State hacking group issued a chilling warning to members of the U.S. military and government on Wednesday, promising that, quote, very soon, followers of the organization would retaliate for overseas bombing targeting the terror organization. Speaking to the Blaze using smartphone messenger application Kik, a representative for the Islamic State hacking division said the group is constantly spying on U.S. servicemen. The organization on Tuesday published personal information purporting to belong to U.S. military and government online, unquote. So, my friends, the Muslims make no qualms about it, no bones about it. They are here and they are hunting Americans. They intend to kill Americans. And so I'm not of the opinion that we're safe as long as they are here. So what are we going to do about it? Item from Politico.com. Huma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's most trusted confidant, is increasingly becoming a central figure in the email scandal that's haunting her boss on the campaign trail, as Republicans and federal judges seek information about Clinton's communications while she was running the State Department. The 2016 Democratic frontrunner on Stop right there. My friends, what do you need to know about the Democratic Party except this? Hillary Clinton is a first-class piece of garbage. She's a liar. She's inept. She's disorganized. She's a complete loser. And she is the Democratic frontrunner. In fact, I'm not even sure there's a viable second runner. Bernie Sanders? Biden has yet to get into it. Elizabeth Warren? None of them are worth being president, and of the entire lot, Hillary Clinton is the worst, and she is the standard bearer for the Democratic Party. I say we put the Democrats out of business. Back to the story. The 2016 Democratic frontrunner on Monday told a federal judge that Abedin, long considered her boss's keeper and even dubbed her shadow, had her own email account on Clinton's now infamous homebrewed server, which was used at times for government business, Clinton acknowledged. That's an unusual arrangement, even for top brass at the State Department, unquote. So, my friends, it appears that Huma Abedin had especially intimate access to Hillary Clinton's inbox. Item from CNSnews.com. The federal government raked in a record of approximately $2,672,414,000,000 in tax revenues through the first 10 months of fiscal 2015, according to the monthly Treasury statement released today. That equaled approximately $17,955 for every person in the country who had either a full-time or part-time job in July, unquote. So, my friends, your question is, and I anticipate your question, since the federal government is bringing in record amounts of money from we, the taxpayers, why do taxes need to go up? It's a hell of a question, one for which I have yet to come across a real answer. Item from CapitalFM.com. Dateline, Vatican City in Rome. Nearly 500,000 Catholics have signed a petition urging Pope Francis to condemn same-sex unions as unnatural and rule out allowing divorced believers who remarry to receive communion, organizers claim, unquote. My friends, here's a question as a Jew I've never understood. If God's law comes from God, that means it's forever, it's eternal. So how can people monkey with it? I don't know. Item from Variety. Donald Trump remains ratings gold for Fox News Channel, as Sean Hannity's interview with the Republican presidential hopeful produced the top demo score for any cable news program on Tuesday night. Less than a week after FNC set cable news ratings records for the first primetime GOP debate of the 2016 election cycle, Hannity averaged 628,000 adults aged 25 to 54 on Tuesday for its exclusive interview with Trump. With its top delivery since April, Hannity beat the combined 10 p.m. demo totals of CNN and MSNBC. Compared to the same night a year ago in the hour, Hannity spiked by 138%, while CNN was down about 5%, MSNBC lost more than a third of its audience, unquote. My friends, Donald Trump is doing great things for Fox News, which makes me wonder why Fox News wants to torpedo him. Well, I don't wonder because I know. Even though you get more truth on Fox than on the other cable networks, Fox is still a major corporation, and it's still part of the major media, and the major media is tied to the major political class, and they want the two-party system to be preserved, and they see Donald Trump as a wild card, as a loose cannon, and they're afraid of him. And so Fox was given orders by someone up there, way up there, to take the knees out of Trump. And in fact, they're doing the same thing at the vaunted conservative magazine National Review, which I read. In fact, I sent a letter to the editor of National Review yesterday saying, I'm sorry to see you playing Jeff Gillooly to Donald Trump's Nancy Kerrigan. In other words, trying to take his knees out to get him out of the competition. That's not what America is all about. Item from the Associated Press, Dateline, Derry, New Hampshire. Republican presidential candidate John Kasich defended millions of immigrants in the U.S. illegally as, quote, people who are contributing significantly, unquote, to the nation, taking on a divisive issue Wednesday as he promised to redefine conservatism during his latest New Hampshire appearance, unquote. My friends, John Kasich was only marginally in the race. He's dull, he's boring, he hasn't got much to say, and today he has effectively ended his candidacy by extolling the virtues of criminals, people who come here illegally, use our resources, don't pay taxes for them, contribute nothing except possibly crime and diseases. And if those are the people that John Kasich is courting, Kasich can kiss my ass. As far as I'm concerned, he is out of the race for president. Good riddance. Item from the Associated Press. A Kentucky clerk's office turned away two gay couples seeking marriage licenses on Thursday, defying a federal judge's order that dismissed her argument involving religious freedom. Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis's office rejected the couple's bids for licenses just hours after a U.S. District Judge ordered her to do the opposite and wrote that the refusal, quote, likely violated the constitutional right of her constituents, unquote. My friends, I can just see the framers of the Constitution meeting in Philadelphia in 1775 and 76 saying, now let's make sure that one of the things we build into the Constitution is the freedom for men to marry men and women to marry women. They'd be rolling over in their graves if they were presented with that. All right, guys, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Real Truth continues.
Here's Sydney scientifically evaluating current health and provide you a personalized program and affordable product. Get real results, get nutritional balance, and go talkingnetwork.com. Call 866-463-4533
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Real Truth. Howard Real presiding. Two of my heroes, Ben Shapiro and Ann Coulter. Here they are together. Coulter being interviewed by Ben Shapiro, talking about her new book, Adios America. By the way, it's fantastic and it's scary. So gird up thy loins and go get a copy and read it. Anyway, here's some important conversation about immigration, legal and illegal. Here we go.
And the reason that I think that people are reacting to the book, obviously, is because we're sort of a catch-22 in how you address this, and that is that the left refuses to talk about this topic until someone says something inflammatory, at which point they won't stop saying inflammatory things instead of talking about the topic. Right, it's very common. So how exactly do you break through that? Well, I think it's a worse catch-22 than that. I mean, we're in a political movement. If we're just the American people against the Democratic Party, we would win. If it were just Americans against the media, we could win. But it's the American people against the Democrats, against the businesses, against the Republicans. I mean, just to get this topic of immigration talked about, it's nearly impossible. And I think people don't realize how much the media sets the agenda of what you even think about. We could go out to a bar right now and ask people, what's your position on what happened in Ferguson? What's your position on gay marriage? What's your position on global warming? They've all developed positions. They've thought about it. Immigration, well, I guess you folks in California have thought about it. But it's really interesting how much the media determines. These are the items we're allowed to talk about on today's menu, and you may not choose any items off the menu, which is why, although apparently I called for flannel a few years ago, I am so happy to see Donald Trump in the race, because wow, he's changed the agenda. We're talking about immigration now, we're lying about immigration, but that's better than not talking about it at all. So speaking of Donald Trump, obviously he's gone, he's had the agenda a little bit longer, right? You had Donald Trump president. Oh, totally. Wow. Advance copy of my book. He obviously read an advance copy of my book. As he said that at a private meeting Friday night. He was very generous. He said it was funny. He said his sister always tells him, you've written more books than you've read, Father. And he told a crowd about this size, but I've read Adios America, and all of you should too. So I think that I wish he'd mentioned it more on TV because I really think it would help him. I want people to read my book. I'm one of the few authors who writes her own books. I believe I am the only author who researches her own books. And it's shorter than it looks. It's fun. The chapters are short, and when you get toward the end, they're even shorter. There are 120 pages of footnotes, so it's way shorter than it looks, and you totally read the book, so please read the book. It is written in a language most Democrats can understand. So let's start with your reasonable distinct American American. I know this is a hard sell for a lot of even pro-American evangelists who've been told, I mean, this is the greatest America is the greatest America, or taxation and public policy. Why is immigration the greatest America to you? Well, first of all, I'm assuming a lot of you are Republicans or conservative Democrats, and it feels like we've been overwhelmed with wave after wave of loss. Obama is elected. Obama is re-elected. There is Obamacare being upheld twice by the Supreme Court. Gay marriage twice to last. Obama withdraws our troops from Iraq. I am a ferocious supporter of the Iraq War. And I can't believe Obama comes in and gives away our victory. I mean, I hated him for that more than I hated him for Obamacare. None of this had to happen. It was all the result of Ted Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act. Without the 1965 Immigration Act, the post-1970 era is very different from the pre-1970 era. So I don't want to hear any weeping about your grandfathers. But we'll get back to that. The post-1970 immigrants are what got Obama elected in the first place. He could not have been elected without the post-1970 immigrants who have been voting 8-2 for the Democrats. Without the 1965 Immigration Act, Romney would have won a bigger victory against Obama than Reagan did against Carter in 1980. I think probably some of you were as surprised as I was the day at 3 a.m. election night. I thought he was going to win that. We'll get used to saying that a lot more. I thought he was going to win that election. What happened
All right, guys, I'm going to stop the video there just because we're coming up on a commercial. Do go to YouTube, not only to see the video of my show, of course, thank you, but this one is called Ben Shapiro Interviews Ann Coulter, Adios America, 7/13/215 C-SPAN. You'll find it interesting, watch it, and then share it. Item from Jihad Watch. Hamas's statement, killing Jews is worship that draws us closer to God. Raping girls and killing Jews are acts of devotion to their God. What kind of God is this? And what kind of moral blindness has overtaken non-Muslim leaders when they sit and drink tea and dialogue with Muslim clerics while being careful never to mention anything like this, and they probably aren't even aware of it anyway? My friends, we'll take a break. More Real Truth ahead. Stick around.